Greetings, people of the internet. My name is Big Mo, and it is my honor to welcome you to the hardest hitting, full of ranting, most entertaining show in the world. This is the Dave Van Auken Show!
6 months, 8 months here. We're always happy to get him in Fight Land, the one, the only president of Karate Combat, President Awesome. My man, how are you?
I'm doing well. Feeling a little under the weather, but I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Man, us as well. All right. I think it's been close to a year. I remember you kind of came on the show. We were lucky enough, came on the show. You're on the jet, talking about moving to Karate Combat, taking over. It's been close. I guess it's a fun question. A lot of man to a man doesn't ask this question a lot, but I'm going to ask it to you. What are you most proud of since you taken over, becoming president of Karate Combat to now? What's the thing you can look at the mirror and be like, man, happy tears about that?
I guess I would say I'm really happy with all the lives we're able to change and all the dreams that are able to come true through Karate Combat. It's provided a platform for a lot of these really talented athletes to go out there and make a name for themselves and make a living for themselves. Right. So I can see guys from the beginning of the year when I first started, now towards the end of the year, they have, 4 or 5 fights under their belt and where they are in life. You know what I mean? And it's just, that's what makes me happy. And that's what makes this whole job fulfilling to me,
Yeah, for sure. I just saw you on an interview talking about strikers and how you definitely want to become, if not already now, but definitely want to become in the near future. Hey, if you're one of the best strikers in the world, you're here at Karate Combat. What are the next little details you have to do? What's the next steps for that to take into place?
So over the course of the last year, in 2024, we did a world tour. We flew around the world signing the greatest strikers we could find from every region. But now it's time to downsize the roster a lot. Things are going to get tough. There's going to be some really hard fights. And we're going to make sure that, sort of trim the fat. We want an elite roster. That's the idea. We want an elite roster, and we want these guys fighting as often as possible. So it's a very different business model than I think that most combat sports, you may fight, 1 time, 2 times a year. We want guys fighting 4 or 5 times a year. We want to throw them back out there as much as possible and see what they're made out of. So that's what we're doing. We have a very large roster right now. I think like 280 fighters or something like that.
Okay.
We're going to decrease it tremendously. And you know what? The strong will survive, and we'll have that elite roster.
Yeah, talking about strong, we've been seeing. I've been lucky enough to be live at multiple Karate Combats. It is insane. It's the thing. I don't think if you just watch it, stream it on UFC Fight Pass or you watch it on the YouTube channel, it's one of those things you have to be there live. I've been saying this to a lot of people. If you have the chance to go to Karate Combat Live, do so. It's just it amplifies, magnifies how much fun, the Karate Combat really is. And can you triple down on that? You have to be at a live show.
I agree, man. When you're at a live show, it's just so different because when you're watching MMA, you see the cage and you're staring through a fence to watch the fights. Same thing with the boxing ring. There's ropes that get in the way. With Karate Combat, you just see directly inside the pit, and so it's definitely just a way different experience for the viewers that are there, and they love it. Everyone seems to love it, So right now we're actually planning on building a sort of Karate Combat Apex, kind of like how the UFC has, right?
I was going to ask you. It's literally my next question. That's great. Keep
awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're planning to open this up. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to scout the location again, and hopefully, we'll be getting that open right away. We want to do many events there, similar to how UFC does at their Apex, and we will structure, the facility to hold events. On the weekly basis. We can throw fights whenever we want. So it'll be something interesting.
It's so fun. Literally, is my next question. I talked to a lot of people that you talk to. We talked to a lot of people of your roster, and they were kind of saying that this something might be happening. And my question is it like a Karate Combat PI? Is it kind of something like that with the pit that you can do events, or is it just for events only?
No, you just called it. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be having, people will be training there on the daily basis.
Right.
I'll move my MMA team, my Goat Shed MMA team into this facility. So all the fighters will be training out of that facility. People are welcome to come visit. We'll have dorms for athletes if they want to stay for camps. They can bring their coaches. If we're Karate Combat Fighter, think of it as neutral territory. They can all come and just do whatever they want there, training camps. But yeah, we'll be training on the daily basis, and then we'll be throwing our fights and our events as well.
Love that idea. Brilliant. One of my things I was going to ask you, of course, Coach Goat, of course, we're going to bring her up later, absolute fight bananas family, Gillian Robertson, stuff of that nature. But how has it been putting so much time and effort, building Karate Combat, posting it, taking it to another levels? How has it been, that work-life balance of Karate Combat and coach of a great team at Goat?
Yeah, it's been really tough. In the beginning of the year, beginning of 2024, when I first got this position, it was extra tough. I didn't know how to balance it properly. And to be honest, I started backing away from coaching a lot only for the first quarter of the year. And I started hiring other people to coach for me and stuff like that. But it wasn't working. And we went on our first losing streak that we've ever had in 5 years. I think we lost 3 fights in a row, which has never happened. And then things weren't going so well. And finally, my student of 7 years, Roy Echeverria, he took me to the side and he's like, "Hey, I've been with you 7 years. We need you back here. Like, do you want to still do this? Like, are you down to do this?" And he sort of, woke me up, and I put my head down, started grinding hard in my coaching side as well again. And we went on this insane just rampage, just tearing it apart. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. Like, sometimes I wonder if life is a simulation. Like, this can't be real, because these guys are just doing so great. Everyone's so motivated. And ironically, a lot of the students that left us in the past, my former students, they're all coming back. We have 6 former Goat Shed fighters that were OGs with me that all came back and rejoined the team. It feels like the Avengers reassemble it, But yeah, Goat Shed is just killing it. And now I have a really good balance of, here's what I do during my presidency. Here's what I do for my coaching. So I'm really well balanced there, and it's taking off on both ends, right?
Love it, love it, love it. Next 50, next 60 days, next 2 months. What's next exactly for Karate Combat? What venues? What places? I hear there's some stuff in works. I don't know how much is out there, but I would let you say it.
No problem. February 28th, we have a show in Denver, Colorado, which I'm really worried about, because every time we do a show at altitude, people win that sometimes you don't think are going to win, and then the people that are supposed to, it's just a mess. You have no idea. I wonder what the betting odds are going to look like, because if you're not out in altitude 3-4 weeks before, you're not going to perform well, So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. There's a lot of really, really big fights there. Robelis is fighting for the 3rd time in a row, 3 fights, 3 months. He's taking on the number 4 ranked fighter out of South America, which is, a top MMA prospect. We're really trying to test him. Last fight, he fought the number 5 ranked guy in Brazil, but knocked him out in 16 seconds or something, 12 seconds. Yeah, it was crazy.
I was with Dean, and I go, "Dean, we're talking about you guys in karate, because we had an event the next night, and I was with them. We did the weigh-ins, and we were watching karate, and I'm like, Dean, the whole show's packed. You had, Pereira's sister on it. It was a great show." And I go, "You know who Robelis is fighting, right?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Dude, that's Marcus Brigal. He was just on Game Bread Bare Knuckle, had a tremendous showing, and he had a lot of skills, great coach." And I'm like, "Dean, this is going to be a great fight." What was it, 12 seconds, 9 seconds? It was.
Yep. It was nuts. I can't, honestly, man, with Robelis, in MMA, he was, I believe, 5-2, right? All 5 of his wins are by knockout in the first. So every win he's ever had in his life are in the first round. He knocks everybody out, right? His last 6 wins are all under 18 seconds, which is, I've never heard of this in my life. But the fights he lost in MMA, the 2 fights he lost, guys put him against the fence. They stalled him out, or they may score a takedown and hold him down for a little bit. I don't feel in this rule set anybody can stand and bang with him. In the Karate Combat rule set, who's going to strike with him? I don't know. I don't know who can do it. And we're trying to develop the heavyweight division. We're trying to sign some really big names. Oh man, people are going to be surprised. We're signing some really big names. In Dubai, Unfortunately, Robelis, he's not available to fight in Dubai, or else, I would have had him fight for the inaugural heavyweight title. But in Dubai, we have fighting for the heavyweight championship of karate combat, Tyrone Spong versus Sam Alvey. So Sam Alvey is stepping up from 205 to fight for the heavyweight title. He wants to be considered the true heavyweight champion. So he's going to be fighting Tyrone Spong. If Robelis was available, if it wasn't for that whole GFL thing, I would have put Robelis versus Tyrone Spong. But it is what it is.
I will get into that in a second, and I will give you the platform. I love teeing it up for you. But real quick on Robelis, just imagine, and I have a ton of respect for Sam Alvey. Sam Alvey, a veteran, a stud in his own right. But just imagine a world of Spong versus Robelis for the heavyweight championship. Like, sign me up. Take my money. Take my money.
Awesome. It's like it's a sick main event, sick heavyweight title fight. So, I mean, unfortunately, we weren't able to get that together, but we'll get Tyrone Spong to go with Sam Alvey, and whoever wins that will take on Robelis in the future.
Love it. All right. There's 4 other promotions I would just love. If you want to talk to them about 15 seconds or talking to them about 2 minutes, praise or negative, whatever you want to do. But first is those 3 letters of GFL. What is it? What do you think of it? It's funny. They're heavyweights in Miami. Is Junior Dos Santos, a game-bred bare-knuckle MMA fighter, and Robelis, who I think is a karate combat fighter. What is your take on GFL? What is it?
So honestly, I think most of the fighters in GFL don't know if it's real yet. They're all sort of sitting there kind of waiting and hoping. And I am too, because the money they're paying these athletes, I mean, they're astronomical numbers. They're ridiculous numbers. So it's like, if a fighter can make that, more power to him. See, Robelis signed with us. And he said, hey, can I still fight for GFL? I said, look, man, if they're paying you that, go make your money, do your thing. I'm not going to stop any athlete from, changing their situation. So, but at the same time, if they have all that money to finance like these unbelievable fighters that they're signing, then where's the proper marketing? Why is there an AI video promo that's just horrendous? And this rap song that I don't know, but like, who's approving this stuff? Like, I can't. And that GFL draft on YouTube was terrible. So you're telling me a company with hundreds of millions of dollars, allegedly, right, signing all these big names, can't afford like a basic marketing dude? Like, it's crazy. My little brother could market the company way better than them. It's insane to me. I hope it's real. I can't imagine it is. If they do a show, it might be 1 or 2. But realistically, I just don't see this. I don't think anybody sees this being a real thing. How are they? I don't understand. How is this happening? This promo was horrible.
Yeah. Like, I see, you know me, like I know a lot of people behind the scenes. I probably know more people behind the scenes than in front of it. I love the business sense of the game. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. There's something not adding up, like you said.
And look, they said 50% revenue share. He didn't say 50% profit share.
Right.
Okay, which would really suck and tank somebody. But 50% revenue share, the guy's gonna drown. Like, there's no way. Nothing's real. There's something.
I know.
Weird, man. Super weird.
All right, that's one promotion. Another promotion, dear to my heart. What's your thoughts on game bred bare knuckle MMA?
Oh, I love it. I freaking love it, man. And they're ran by the right people, by the BMF champ Jorge Masvidal, right? By Dean Toole. Like, these guys are so smart and savvy in the game. They understand everything. Actually, Dean Toole, when I first became president of Karate Combat, Dean Toole was the guy sort of being like my sensei, promoter sensei, And he was teaching the ropes and introducing me to people. Like, they're such wonderful dudes. They want to do the best for the athletes and for the sport. And on top of that, they're doing something different. I love when someone's doing something different. They're not trying to be the UFC. They're not trying to be. They are doing bare knuckle MMA, back to what it was supposed to be. That's original MMA, right? The savagery. So I love it. I mean, my whole support for Game Bred.
Love that. 2 more for you real quick. One, I saw in the interview and I loved your take on it, but I'll give you the floor again. PFL. What's your thoughts on the PFL?
Man, it's been rough for them lately. It's been no good. It's been no good. And especially with Don Davis coming out so often now. I feel like I didn't see him that much before. Now I'm seeing him just constantly talking, and he should not be the one speaking on the sport for PFL. I've been saying for a long time, it should be Ray Sefo. You want someone to be in the limelight. You want someone to be in the limelight, being interviewed, talking about the fights. Ray Sefo's the man. He speaks well, good-looking dude, has the accolades. He has everything it takes to go ahead and talk about fighting and fighters and how to treat them and where the company needs to go. If Don Davis wants to sit in the background, maybe he's good at something, but he's definitely not good at talking about MMA. It's actually really terrible. Like, you watch some of his stuff, and I remember there was some interview where a guy asked him, "Hey, what's your favorite MMA fight?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't watch MMA."
He couldn't say anything. It's like we all have a fight or two, and there's probably 10 or 15 that a lot of us pick the same ones, but then there's always one that is closer to you and I for whatever reason, right? For our love, a friend, whatever the fact may be. Is he couldn't say anything. He couldn't say, "Hey, this fight of Kayla Harrison, because it took us to this level and ESPN loved it," or what, he couldn't say anything. Didn't have an answer.
It's wild, man.
Yeah, wild. All right, last one for you. The UFC, what's your thoughts? What's your first thing when I say UFC to you?
When I think of UFC, I just think of, the greatest example for combat sports out there right now. Like I coach many UFC fighters, and I'm coaching almost every month in the UFC, and the way they treat their fighters, the way they treat me, we go there, they hand us a bag, a gift bag of just gear, right? Custom gear for our athletes that we're going to wear throughout fight week. The food that they're providing us, the hotel rooms that they're providing us, the physical therapy, everything they do for the athletes. I love the way they promote. Honestly, I have no hate for the UFC at all. That's why I'm so close to everybody over there. We even gave Karate Combat free on their platform. We didn't ask for $1 from UFC Fight Pass for that, just because we want to show our loyalty, show that we have a passion for the sport. And I love everything they do. Because of that, it inspires me to treat our fighters the way we're treating them. And that's why fighters are, able to make the living they are in Karate Combat, and why we're giving that special extra love to them. And soon there'll be an announcement too, just like you walk into the UFC and you get a bag full of goodies. We'll have ours too. I can't announce too much about that, but we're going to be aligning ourselves very closely with the UFC.
I love it. Love it. Two last things for you, then I'll let you run. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time. One is we're in February, early 2025. What's one thing that you say needs to happen for Karate Combat in 2025? What's one thing, a place you need to go to, a streaming service you want to connect with, a fight? What's one thing that needs to happen under the umbrella of Karate Combat in 2025 for you?
Oh my God, there's so much. There's so much that needs to happen. It's crazy because you just named, you said a fight. Yeah, there's many fights that need to happen. For me, it needs to be Tyrone Spong versus Robelis. I think that's like the greatest heavyweight title striking fight ever. So I would love to see that fight-wise. Broadcast-wise, I mean, there's a lot going on there. We're talking to a lot of different partners that, will pick up the stream and stuff. So I'm hoping to partner, with a broadcast channel that we could work with. Locations, look, we got Dubai right now, May 2nd. We have Abu Dhabi in November, December, and we're working on Saudi. I really want to lock in Saudi for 2025. Nice. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi. That area is becoming the combat sports capital of the world right now. It's crazy.
Wild. Yeah.
It used to be Vegas, but now it's like, no. You want to make a statement, you got to do an event over there, Yeah. So we got Abu Dhabi, Dubai this year. I want to get Saudi as well.
I love it. Love it. Last thing for you, of course, like I said, family to both of us, right? Gillian the Savage Robertson, a big fight coming up ahead. We think it's Iowa. I don't know if you know for sure. We think that date is in Iowa. Not 100% sure. But what's the next 12 months? If you had a crystal ball, what happens with Gillian Robertson and her career the next 10, 12 months?
Oh, man. I mean, she's right there getting along title contention. It's crazy. This should definitely jump her into, I think she's ranked number 11 right now.
In that range, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah,
in that range.
This should jump her jump her into the top 10. She's killing it, man. This is the greatest run she's had in her MMA career thus far. And she's healthy. She's training hard. I'll tell you what, out of everybody in the gym, she's always the first one there. She really is. It doesn't matter what new recruit we have or what talented fighter we have. Gillian is the one there day in and day out over everyone. She's putting more hours in than anyone, and there's just no argument about it, you know? So, I mean, I see
think
her
the
running
main
for
reason, Asim, the main reason why is she goes to bed at 7 p.m. and wakes up at 5:30 a.m. You know, that's the main reason. She's just up before all of us.
It's nuts. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. But, you know, she's in the cage with Dean Thomas and a group of the fighters all focused on what she needs to be doing right now. So, I mean, with that specific attention, I mean, you can't help but to succeed, you know? So I see a really, really bright year for her.
Awesome. I cannot wait. Massive fan of Karate Combat. Like I said, I think I've been to 3 or 4 of them. One of them was at Mom's house, you know, so it's been very fun. Like I said, massive fan of Karate Combat, massive fan of you. Cannot wait. So the next thing on the docket is Colorado, right?
Yes, sir. Colorado, February 28th.
There we go. Sounds good, guys. Make sure you follow Karate Combat, follow the Prez. Appreciate your time, brother. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thank you so much.
All right, brother.